Okay, we are moving on to new content, and so today our objective is that we will be able to find the slope given a graph picture. Okay, so new material today, and the first thing, like I said, we're talking about this word slope. All right, slope is represented by the letter little m. Okay, so anytime you see m, you're going to need to know it means slope. And over the next few weeks, you're going to see this letter pop up a lot. So little m always means slope. Now there's several ways that we can find the slope of a line. Okay, and today we're going to talk about what we call rise over the run. Okay, so rise over run, and this will make more sense as we get going. Okay, so let's go back to the word slope. So we're saying if we have like a house here, and we have this picture, and we have another house, and we have one like this, and we have a house like this. Okay, one of these houses is in Arizona, one of these houses is in Park City, Utah, and one of these houses is in Ogden, Utah. Okay, which one goes where? Which one's in Arizona, which one's in Park City, and which one is in Ogden? The top one is an Ogden house. The middle one is in Park City. And the bottom one is in Arizona. Why? Okay, hopefully you said maybe like look at the snow. In Arizona, they get hardly any snow, so they don't need to have a big slant to their rooftop. So when the snow, they don't get much snow, so they don't have to worry about it. Okay, Park City gets the most snow out of all three of those places. That's where the Olympics was held in Utah a while back. Okay, Park City gets a ton of snow. So as the snow comes falling down on the roof, it needs to have a big slant to it so the snow can come running off. Right? Ogden gets some snow, but not as much as Park City. So we also need to have some type of slant to our roof so the snow can come falling off. All right? I've been talking about slant here, but another word we can just simply say is slope. Slope is how steep, how much slant is there to the line. Okay? So Park City has a greater slope than Ogden does. But Ogden does have some slope to it, right? And then Ogden has a greater slope than Arizona. But the one that has the most slope is Park City, has the steepest slope to it. Okay? So slope, if you look at the houses, it's just pretty much saying, what's the slant of our line? Okay? What does our line look like? Alright? So let's look at some situations here. If I have a coordinate plane, and I have a grid, and we have this situation. Say we have a point here, and we have a point here. And we have a line that goes through those. Okay. So the question is, we want to know what is the slope of this line. Okay. So at the start of the video, we said that we're going to talk today about slope being rise over run. Alright, so if you think about if you're rising up a ladder, you're going up or down, right? If you're going to rise on a ladder, it's your up or down movement. And if you're going to run, you're either going to run to the right or you're going to run to the left. So the top number is our up or down movement, and our bottom number is our right or left movement. Okay, so here's our line again. And we have these 2 points right here. I don't care which point you start at, but you need to start at one of them. So let's say I start at this one right here. Pretend we got this little dude standing right here. So I have a little guy standing at this point. This guy needs to go from this point to this point. So our first number is our rise. Does our guy have to rise up, or does our guy have to rise down to go from here to here? He's got to go up. Well, how many points does he go up to get to that point? If we count him, he goes up 1 time. So he has a rise of 1. If you're going up, that is positive. So my rise is 1. But then he's got to run. He's either got to run to the right or he's going to run to the left to get to that point. He's got to run to the right. How many times? Let's count our movements. 1, 2, 3 times. He went up once, right? 1, 2, 3. And if we go right on the number line, that's positive direction. So he has a positive 3. And that is it. That is simply your slope. He goes up 1, right 3. Rises up 1, and goes over 1, 2, 3 times to the right. Okay? That's all we're looking at. Let's look another one. So we have a point here. And we have a point, say, here. I'm going to change that point actually. So we have a point there still, and we have a point here. So our line looks like that. Okay, so once again, I don't care which point you start at, but we just got to pick one of them. Okay, let's say I start this time with this one. Here's my little guy. So my guy's either got to go up or he's got to go down to get to the other point. Okay, because once again we said that rise is our top number. So my guy has to go up to get to that point. So how many times has he got to go up this time? Let's count him. He goes up once, twice, up 1, up 2. So he rises up 2 times, which going up is a positive, so positive 2. But then he's got to run. He's either got to run to the right or he's going to run to the left. This time he's going to run to the left. Let's count how many times he goes left. 1, 2, 3 times. But now if we go left on a number line, then that's going negative. So he went negative 3. And there's my slope, negative 2/3. Okay. Now, once again, I told you I don't care what point you start at. So let's say I started actually at this point, and here's my little guy here this time, and he's got to go from here and he got to get to there. So now, what would he do? He wouldn't go up; he would go down. So he'd go down 1 time. Well, going down is a negative, so that would be negative 1. And then does he have to run to the right, or does he have to run to the left? Well, he's got to go to the left. How many times? 1, 2, 3. Well, as we just said, going left is negative, so that's a negative 3. Okay, now wait a minute. What is a negative divided by a negative? That turns out to be a positive. So do we end up getting the same thing? Yes. So I don't care which, like I said, what point you start at, you're going to get the same answer. Okay, well let's look at the same situation in this one. So if I started here instead, so this time does he have to go up or does he have to go down to get to that point? He's got to go down. How many times? Once, twice. So going down is a negative. So that's a negative 2. And then he's got to run to either the right or he's going to run to the left. Well, this time we go to the right. How many times? Once, twice, 3 times. Going to the right is positive. So there's my slope. Do we get the same answer? Okay, now in the past, I had kids tell me in class, no, because this one's negatives on the bottom, this one's negatives on the top. Okay, well think about it. What is a positive divided by a negative? It's negative. What's a negative divided by a positive? That's a negative. They're the same. So I don't care if the negative's in the bottom, I don't care if the negative's in the top. They mean the exact same thing. Okay? So no matter where you start, you should get the same answer. We're just going rise over run, okay? Let's look at a couple more. Say we're here, and we are here. So here's my picture. Okay, so once again, I don't care where you start, you'll get the same thing. I usually just start at the bottom one. So let's say my little dude's here. Okay, so from here to get to that point, we have to go up or down. Well, we're going to go up. So how many times we go up? Count our movements. We go up one time. And going up's positive. So +1 for my rise. And then we have to run. We have to run to the right or to the left. We're going to go to the right how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. And going to the right is positive. So my slope is 1/4. There's my final answer. Okay? Now there's a couple of hints I want you to watch for when you do your assignment today. Okay? I give this away to my kids every year. Some pay attention, some don't. If your graph is going up to the right, your answer better be positive. You better get a positive slope, just like we did here. Right? He's going up to the right. You should get a positive. If your graph is going down to the right, so it's pointing down to the right, then your final answer better be negative. Okay? So use those for little hints as you're going. Alright? Now on your assignment today, you're going to get some grid, there'll be grids, so they'll be easy to look at. So this is what your assignment will kind of look like today. You're going to get some pictures of graphs, and you're already going to have the dots given to you, and then you're going to get grids. So you just got to count your movements. Okay? So we want to find the slope of this. So if I use a little hint, he's going down to the right. So my answer better be negative. Let's find out. Okay. So I usually, like I said, start from the bottom point. So let's say my little guy is standing right here. Okay. So from here, he has to go up to get to the other point. So if we count our movements, and we actually draw this in here, draw me a triangle. So we go up 1, go up 2, go up 3 times. Okay. So he went up 3 times. And then we're going to run to the left. So if I count my movement over to the left, I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. But remember, if we're going left, that is negative. So -5. Rise goes on top. So we went up 3, and we went left 5. There is my slope. My answer should be negative, which it is. Okay? Let's look at this one. So same situation. It's going down. My answer better be negative. Okay, this time I'm actually going to start from the top point. Let's say my little guy's here. So he has to go down to get to that point. Let's count the movements. Draw a triangle. 1, 2. So going down is negative. So -2. And then we're going to run to the right. And we're going to go over how many times here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We went right 5 times. So once again, my slope, rise, -2, we went down 2, and then we went right 5. My answer should be negative, and it is. Okay? I want you guys to look at number 6. Okay, number 6 was kind of hopefully an easy one. If I start from this bottom point, well, first of all, he's going up, right? So my answer better be positive when I'm done. So if I start from this bottom point, I have to go up 1 time. And then I'm going to run right how many times? Once, twice. So my answer is 1/2. And it is positive. Okay? Now, I want to look at one like number 7 here, for the last one, okay? So once again, he's going up. He should be positive. And our dots are way far apart, okay? But let's what happens here. So watch closely on this one. If I'm clear down here, and if I count my movements, stay with me here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I went up 8 times. And then I went to the right how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times. Okay, so that is rise of 8, run of 4. So that is your slope, right? And we built a nice triangle right there. But the one thing that stinks about not being in class and going over this with you is, in class I usually talk about this really in detail. Now 8 over 4 will reduce, okay, and you should reduce it. Sometimes in your answers, especially in Alex, won't take them if you don't reduce them. So 8 over 4, 4 goes into 8 2 times, it does reduce down to 2 over 1. So can we say the slope is 2 over 1? Well, what does that mean once again in our slope form? The top number means rise 2, the bottom number goes right 1. Will that still work and keep us on our line? Well, let's try it. If I go up 2 and right 1, oh, there I am on the line. If I go up 2 and right 1, oh, I'm on the line. Up 2, right 1, I'm on the line. Up 2, right 1, I'm on the line. So it does work. All we ended up doing was creating what? Now usually in class I get kids that'll shout out they look like stairs. Yeah, and that's all you're making. Slope is just another way of saying what does your stairs look like. Okay? So if we went up 8 and right 4, and I do that again, if I go up 8 and right 4 again, I'm on the line still. And if I go up 8 and right 4, I'm still on the line. And I'm just making large stairs. Okay? But by reducing it, and you get down to 2 over 1, you're just making smaller stairs. Up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. And it works again. Up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. Okay? So you should reduce it and make your stairs as small as you can. Okay? But for wrap up, we said once again that slope is represented by little m. You'll see this a lot in the next few weeks. Today we're talking that it means rise over run. Our rise is our up or down movement, and our run is our left or right movement. Okay? And if it goes up to the right, you better get a positive answer. If it goes down to the right, you better get a negative answer. And yes, you should build a little triangle. You should be building triangles, and they're just like stairs. Okay? They're just making stairs. And that's really what slope is. Alright? So after this video, there is some questions that you need to answer, and I think both of us are providing an exit ticket for this. If you have any questions, reach out to either Mrs. Brimhall or myself. And we can't wait to have you back on Wednesday. Thanks.